Hey everybody, I got a tool for you today. So, the tool for today is something that has to do with you using your mouth more than you using your sly wits to try to sneak around and get away with things. Now, some people know this as the art of negotiation. I like to call it negotiation instead of confrontation. So this is a tool that I found throughout the years is something that is so needed from every teenager. It's needed from every person, but when you're a teenager, it doesn't seem that you're being taught this at home. Definitely not being taught this at school. So this is why I've added this in to my social health curriculum, and that's why I'm teaching it inside of the class. So let me start off by first saying the definition of the word negotiation. The definition is a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. Now, for most of you teenagers out there, when you're really little, there's not a lot of negotiation going on between you and your parents because they tell you to do something and you're supposed to do it. But as you get a little bit older, you start to figure out that your parents are old, they forget things, they forget to follow up with you. Maybe they're distracted by things, and so you could sneak around, and in the sly way, you can sometimes, keyword sometimes, get away with things that you're not supposed to do. Now that's expected, specifically for older kids, all the way up to pre-teenagers. But here's something that I want you teenagers to realize it's time to start doing because you're not cute anymore like a little kid. So because you're not as cute anymore to your parents, you're not going to be able to just be like, Mom, Dad, don't get mad at me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. The playing dumb with your parents and playing cute and trying to apologize, that's not going to work with your parents as much now that you've gotten older. So instead of just trying to get away with stuff and being sneaky, you should start using negotiation. Now, the first rule to start using negotiation as a way to help you get what you want is very specific. You have to realize that negotiation is consistently your best way of getting your parents to work with you. If you're thinking like a little child, you're not thinking long term. Little children think, I'm just going to sneak and get what I want because if I don't sneak and get what I want, my parents are always going to say no. They're never going to give me the benefit of the doubt, so I have to take what I want or sneak around to get it. As you become a teenager, you start to realize that you're a lot closer to being 18 than you are to being in diapers. So when you get older, your parents expect you to not sneak around. They expect you to learn how to work with them as an adult. And you have probably told them many times you want to be treated like an adult and not like a little kid. Well, this is one of the things that's going to cause your parents to treat you like a little kid and not like an adult if you try to sneak out all the time and get away with stuff because it's going to make them feel like you look at them like they're stupid. Just because your parents have made mistakes in the past and maybe you think they are stupid in certain ways doesn't mean they're completely naive to what it's like to be a teenager. Even though they are not a teenager in today's world, they still know that being a teenager means you want to try to get away with some things. You want to live dangerously every now and then. But what parents have told me they respect a lot and it makes them act more mature themselves is when their teenagers get good at coming and bringing them a very good deal, aka negotiating. So now number 2, after you realize what negotiation is in the first step and you realize that it is better for you to negotiate because you're trying to get respect from your parents, number 2 is the thing that's going to help you get it done. When you have something, let me use homework for example. When there's homework that needs to be done, but yet you didn't do it, and you would like to go hang out with your friends or do something with your friends, just sneaking out and pretending that you didn't do the homework seems like it would be the best way just to hope that your parents don't catch you. Negotiation, in my opinion, is by far much better than just trying to sneak around. Because if you do this a couple times and sneak around and try to get out and go hang out with your friends and lie about your homework or just pretend that you didn't have homework to do, you're going to get caught at some point, and then your parents are going to feel A, disrespected, and B, like you're trying to take advantage of them, and then your parents start thinking of all the things that they've bought you recently. Yeah, Christmas time, your birthday, the Xbox, the phone, Everything your parents have ever bought you goes into their mind, and they add up all those dollars and think, I've spent $3,000 on all these things to try to make my kid happy, and they're lying to me about their homework. That's right. The disrespect, woo, 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 it goes off. And when the disrespect goes off, they start thinking, well, if they don't respect me, I don't have to respect them. Now, you guys, think about this for a second. You're trying to get your parents to think about you like you're an adult. That's not what you want. You want to use negotiation, and you want to come to them with a plan so that if you are going to be let out to hang out with your friends and you aren't going to do your homework, you're going to offer something to make them feel like they're not being taken advantage of. One good example of that is simply telling them, hey, listen, in the past, I know I've snuck out. I've lied about my homework. I've put it off to the last minute. So to avoid doing that again, I wanted to be honest with you. I only got halfway through the first assignment. Show them the assignment that you're halfway through. See, teenagers think that you want to hide that you haven't done the work. No. Show them that you've done a little bit and show it to them. See, if someone gives you something to look at, now your attention is going on that specific thing. You're not thinking that you're being manipulated, because in this case, you're not manipulating your parents. You're saying, hey, listen, here, I've only done half the assignment. And I know I don't deserve to hang out with my friends, but I had an idea. If you allow me to hang out with my friends, in the past, I would say, just let me hang out and I'll do it later. Not only am I going to say I'm going to do it later, I'm going to give you a time and a date. Then you show them your cell phone. You show 3 alarms, because it's really easy to say, Siri, set an alarm, set a reminder. Show 3 different reminders on the date and the time that you're promising to do your homework. Then you tell them, you have my permission to set 2 dates and 2 reminders on that same date after mine. If you don't see me doing my homework by this time on this specific date, by the way, it should be like within a day or so, in 2 days, it can't be a week later. Then you tell your parent, you have my permission to come and tell me and say, hey, remember you told me to remind you that you were supposed to be doing your homework at this particular time, so I'm just trying to be a good parent and remind you. That is a plan of negotiation. Your parents will think it's so clever if you do this or something similar to this. They're going to be really curious to see if you're going to follow through with this. Step number 3, the follow through. If you can follow through on this, you guys, trust me, your parents, especially if you do it 2 or 3 times in a row, your parents will give you so much more freedom. They will start worrying about your other siblings, their other stress in their life. If you didn't know this, it may feel like your parents are only watching you and stressed out about you. Trust me, they got bigger fish to fry. In fact, they get mad if they have to be stressed out about you all the time, because they don't want to be stressed out about you doing your homework. When you're a teenager, they just want you to take care of it. So if you're able to negotiate with your parents and come to them and give them some different ideas about how you could do your homework later. Now, this is just one example. You could do this in lots of different ways. But if you were to do this, then the follow through is going to guarantee that the freedom is going to increase over time. Most teenagers, when they try to negotiate with their parents on a couple different times, if they do the follow through and they actually listen to their reminders and they start working on their homework, then their parents start to notice, wow, this must be a different version of my teenager who I thought was never going to grow up, always act like a little kid, but now I'm going to have to start taking them a little bit more seriously. When your parents see you, and by the way, little hack to this, once you follow through and you start doing your homework, I know some of you out there like to post selfies, like take pictures of yourself. Well, this is a time where it's very good for your own personal freedom to take a selfie. Take a selfie of you doing your homework and text it to your parent. If they're at work, no matter what they're doing, do a live video. Be like, hey mom, do you see when my math homework assignment was 50% done? Zoom in on the send button, send it, and show your parent that you're sending it. Make it light. Show them that you're following through with what you said you were going to do, and it's not even a big problem. Do not send a selfie or do not send a video saying, Mom, I did the homework you told me to do. Here, are you happy? The reason why you're not going to do that, because you look like a little baby, a little brat that's pissed off that you have to do your schoolwork or your chores or whatever it may be. if you have a positive attitude about it and you're like, hey mom, told you. See, you made a good choice to let me hang out with my friend. Now I'm just doing my homework and I'm happy to be doing my homework. Even if you're being sarcastic, they'll think it's funny. They'll think, wow, this is really clever. And you followed through. So to recap, the very first step is you got to change your mindset. You got to change the way you're thinking of your parents. Your parents aren't the people who are blocking you from everything that you want in your life. Your parents are the people that if you learn how to work with them, they will help you get more things in your life. Now, I don't know your parents. You may be sitting there saying, you don't know my parents. My parents are really crazy. They're really stubborn. Either way, they're going to be your parents for the rest of your life. So this is the best time that you can start learning to work and negotiate with your parents instead of just trying to get around things. So the very first step is you got to remember, do not try to be that sneaky little kid anymore. Start practicing talking to them so that they can give you the freedom instead of just trying to sneak it around to get it. Number 2, don't forget that in order for this to work, you've got to show them what's up. You got to bring them a plan and be open with what you have done, using the example of homework. If it's chores, whatever it may be open, say, look how messy my room is. Most kids say, why would I tell my parents how messy my room is? Because if you're showing them how messy your room is, and then you exactly tell them what you're going to clean up, the date and the time you're going to clean it up, and then you give them the plan. Remember, the plan is Siri or whatever type of phone you have, having the reminders set for you to do this at the specific day and time. That's going to show them that you're not just wanting them to give you the freedom. You have a plan to help get the freedom and then do your end of it so that you don't lose their freedom in the future. And the last but not least, number 3, remember to follow up. You guys, it's so important. Once you give this big sales pitch, you show the plan, it's not gonna, in fact, it'd be worse if you did all this and didn't follow up. So make sure you follow up. And the biggest thing to follow up is while you're doing it, show them you're doing it. If you can give your parents a video, some sort of fun proof that you're doing your end of the bargain and you're not complaining about it and you have a positive attitude about it, even if you're joking, they will like that. In fact, they'll like that so much that will be one big check off their box of something that they have to worry about that day. If you continue to negotiate with your parents and make plans with them that you follow up with, now your credit with them extremely goes up and you can actually get the benefit of the doubt. In future scenarios, they won't even ask you to come up with a plan. They'll probably just let you go hang out with your friends. They'll let you do something because you've shown them that you're willing to follow up on the things that you promised you were going to do. Again, you guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Teenagers usually struggle at negotiation. In fact, even in my own classroom, I'll have kids sitting next to kids that's not their seat. They're being social and they're talking, which I actually don't mind. But instead of coming to me and asking me, hey, Mr. Kaz, after you get done teaching the lesson or after we're doing our thing, would you mind if during the homework time or during the social time, I could sit next to my friend? If they were to do that, Mr. Kaz is always up for negotiation. I'm ready to make a deal. I would even respect that so much that I would let them sit there. It happened recently, this past week. Got this one person in the back of the class who's always talking. I'm always reminding him, hey, don't forget, we got this thing inside of our class. I allow you to be social and talk, just not while I'm talking. Over and over again, I was reminding him, and then he started sneaking around trying to sit with his friend and talk more. I caught him one time. I told him, hey, step into my office. Came back to the back of the class. I told him, I said, do you not know what class this is? And he goes, what class is it? I go, this is a social health class. So that means I want you to socialize in a healthy way. And a healthy way for you to socialize is to get permission from me. So instead of sneaking around and try to hang out with your friends, why don't you just come ask me, man? I'll let you talk with them. I'll let you hang out with them, just not when I'm talking. And he looked at me like, oh, like this genius experience just happened. It's like the heavens open and doves start flying and landing on his shoulders. And he realized, I don't have to be sneaky. I could actually get you to let me do something. And I said, yes, I would let you if you just came and gave me the respect and tried to negotiate with me. I love it when someone tries to negotiate with me. In fact, I love it so much, if they have a good sales pitch, even if I'm not gonna let them do it, I'll kind of give them some freedom or some credit on something else, because I was like, touche, that was such a good approach. Yeah, you can't do that, but tell you what, tomorrow I'll let you do something you wanna do. Bravo. Like, I get stoked when I see young people trying to figure out ways to make their situation better instead of manipulating their situation being better. So that's why I suggest you use negotiation so you have less confrontation. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. And if you liked it and it gave you some interesting ideas about how to deal with the drama in your life, like, subscribe, share, you know what to do. And if you want to raise your hand to ask the teacher a question, simply put your question in the comment box. Thanks for watching, Mr. Cos.